that, Coach Chris, obviously I've had the chance to work with you when you first got out here. That time you were still a strength and conditioning coach. And I know I may have asked you this type of question in our previous interviews in my show, but for the sake of those who are, just maybe getting to know you or who haven't really heard about your story, can you maybe just share your journey, talk about how you all ended up here? You're from Jersey, right? Like, from what I remember, and from your cap, I think it's pretty clear which New York team you are kind of rooting for. Just tell us about that journey, how you end up getting to where you are.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to share it. I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey. I wanted to play in college basketball at Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken. And after I finished college, I worked. I worked as a chemist for about 7 years, and I got tired of doing that and being a lab rat. And then I told myself I got to give myself a chance to at least say I tried to play in the Philippines, and I decided to fly out here in 2008 and try my luck in the PBA draft. Actually, I entered the draft. It was a great one lesson type of experience, learning type of experience, where you can't be really scared to fail. You know what I mean? So after the draft, I decided to. I knew my only way to get into the PBA was coaching. Okay. So I didn't know the major circles out here or even how to get into the coaching fraternity. I looked online. I said coaching jobs, and Coach E basketball came up online, and I was like, oh, I applied, and they accepted me. That was my very first coaching position. I'm sure you guys know Boss Eric Ariola. The very first player I ever coached out here was his son, Champ.
Oh, okay.
It was such a pleasure, coaching that kid. And I think by chance, I think it was by the universe kind of leading me towards that way. And Boss Eric kind of asked what I was doing out here, and I told him I was doing strength and conditioning, and it was by really luck that he said that the Patriots were having a tryout for coaches, and so I told him, I was like, hey, can I get a opportunity kind of having that demo, get in that demo interview, and he told me to go to practice the following day. I share a funny story all the time. The first day of practice for the Patriots, I bought a tire from Evangelista, and I brought it in the taxi that I rode, and the driver was kind of looking at me crazy. I went to the first day of practice holding a tire on my side of it, and guys were looking at me weird, but it was one of those things where I kind of had to think outside the box, and make an impression right away. So I was fortunate enough to be hired as the strength and conditioning coach for the.
How did you get into strength and conditioning from being a chemist and being a ball player yourself? Like, how did you kind of, I guess, learn or?
Well, I had to, get certified. I went back to the States and I got certified through the, I think it's ISAA, International Sports and American, so something like that. And I forgot the certification I acquired because I figured I didn't have any, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't know anyone. I didn't really have the connections and try to get on with anyone out here. But I knew fitness, that's one of the things that became key for me to get back here. And I just dedicated myself to that. And it created a niche for myself and get my foot in the door on the team. I figured that once I was on the team, I'd be able to learn from great teachers and like Glenn Capaccio or Louis Gonzalez was on that team, or John Cardell was on that team. Mm-hmm. And from there, Patriots moved up to the PBA, becoming Global Port, and Coach Glenn brought me on as well. And I was there for about, I think, a full year. I was there with you for, I think, for one conference,
Yeah.
and then and I kind of left the PBA for a year, and I went into training. That's when I did a lot of player development. I was doing things for free at that time just to get my name out there. Try to train as much guys and share the knowledge and improve my kind of philosophy. And Coach Glenn had the opportunity to come back to the PBA with Kia, with Wes Manny. And so he called me up and brought me back on, and I was so grateful for that opportunity. So, and you know, the whole history with Kia, me being there from Coach Glenn to Coach Chito, and then Coach Chito resigning, and then me being appointed. That was pretty much the short end of the story, and that's how it all got. That's how I got there.
Coach, so when you got to Kia, you were the strength and conditioning coach, or you were a strength and conditioning coach, but you're also on the floor coach?
Yeah. Coach Glenn allowed me to kind of expand my responsibilities from with strength and conditioning to kind of a defensive specialist for him. He empowered me to do our defensive, drills and getting them ready for his main defensive schemes. So I was fortunate enough to have that empowered responsibility given to me by Coach Glenn.
Warning on Coach Paulo Layud for delaying the game. Technical foul on Coach Anton Altamirano for resentment to a call. Coach Charles Chu out of the playing court. Coaches Unfiltered. No refs, no techs.